What?
All right, y'all. We live. We live. We live. We live. We can cool it out for a little bit, man, until we get some people to come up in here. As always, as always, gonna get some tea, man. One, Shelton Bullies, bro. You still on? I know your camera dropped, but are you
Yes,
still there?
sir.
All right, cool, cool,
Yeah, I'm
cool.
here.
Just,
I'm here.
I just want to make sure you ain't fall off. Hey, yo, we gonna run. What we gonna get? All right, what time is it, man? 6:40. We about to get
Is our,
ready.
is our chat connected or is it just yours?
Is what connected?
The chat.
No, you can see chats from your phone, but I think you kind of gotta go a screen back or something weird, something weird. So I don't really necessarily know what you
Yeah,
gonna have to do.
when you go to chat or either comments, like on mines, it pops up, but then you gotta hit exit because if you hit back, it'll take you out the whole live.
Was that what happened to you?
Yeah, that's why I kept having to sign back in.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So
Man, if you come in,
you gotta hit exit.
yeah, if you're just coming into the live, man, drop something in there so I know who popping in. We speak to you, man. We got a pretty good topic tonight. Kind of want to figure out how do you think pricing is dictated in this market? Do you think it's correct? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's based on the breeder, or should it be some type of bar across the board, man? We got a panel this time around, man. I'm gonna start right here with Mr. Bill the Breed. You online, Jacoby?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
What
right,
up?
bro. Man, introduce yourself. Where you from and your kennel, man.
Jacoby Ortiz with Build the Breed, and we out in Pennsylvania with it.
And we're gonna go to Shelton Bullies, man. Introduce yourself, your name, and where you from.
What it is, I'm Ron Shelton, Shelton Bully Kennels, out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, representing Thugs Down.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then right here, last but not least, dang,
Exclusive Gorillas, man.
what's up?
Oklahoma.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, man. They know. Y'all know we make
exclusive,
gorillas.
exclusive Gorillas, Oklahoma. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. Look, DCB Raid, different cloth bullies out of Virginia. Hey, man, we're gonna just get this conversation underway. How is pricing dictated in this market, man? Which one of y'all want to probably chime in on that first, man?
It dictated on quality. I feel. I'm not gonna say everybody has the same quality. Everybody got $10,000 dogs, but you better know what you got.
So what? So you're saying $10,000? That's a number to throw out there. Why we throwing 10 out there?
I mean, I done seen dogs sell for 10,000. I done sold dogs for 10,000.
Yeah,
But
but
the
you're
quality
putting in
had to
that
be there.
work though.
I
Hold
done
on.
sold dogs for 3,500,
Uh huh.
2,500. But in the same sense, I had to know my market and the quality of dog that I had in front of me.
So you got dogs for 10, 3,500. Like what determined that for you?
When you've been breeding a while, you can see when it's not ordinary. You get what I'm saying? Like we all done had some ordinary litter, especially starting from back in the day. I say 10 years ago. We see how far we came and how far we've gone. And some people still have the same dogs from 10 years ago. And I can't
Oh.
say at that point it's a $10,000 dog.
Hey,
We wasn't even selling dogs for 10 back then.
Shelton Bully, you had something to add on that? Juan, you still in here, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. What's your thoughts
Oh,
on that?
okay, so with these dogs now, like kind of piggyback on what Damien was saying, like you're starting to see a lot of these litters, like what he mean by like you see a litter that's just way different. you're starting to see these dogs come out now to where it's like, holy shit, where did that come from? Right? It's just these dogs now they're just developing and forming like in a different way than what the bullies 10 and 12 years ago was doing. That's why Havoc, stood out of other Dak sons, and then Louis V and then Magoo. You got certain dogs that standing out. When you do have those specific dogs that stand out, like some of the dogs that we're having now, then yeah, they can go for about 10K, but you're not selling a whole litter for 10K. Like, there is no way in hell some of these big breeders, along with some of the small, y'all get these dogs and y'all look at these pedigrees and put them together. I done seen so many times where the litters did not click. Like what the dogs look like compared to the pedigree, they didn't click. You cannot convince me that every dog needs to be sold for 10K because the litter is this or that. Bullshit.
So
you gotta if you got a $10,000 dog, right? Because 9 times out of 10, that's a dog that you probably don't want to get rid of.
Yep.
The dog that's going to be valued at the most is the dog that when somebody asks you about, you're going to say, nah, that one's not for sale, right? That's the 10K dog. And if that dog so happens to cost more, then so be it. That's the dog that you're trying to get rid of.
So
but
where do we get the separation from? 1 second. Where do we get the separation from like, how does it jump from 10 to 20? What separates a 10 dog from a 20 dog at that point?
It could be a number of things, right? Say for instance, if you got a sire that you just really been putting in work, you've been going to these shows and you've been putting in this work, and this dog is actually beating other dogs in competitive competition that both of these dogs should be matched evenly in. When you're doing stuff like that, then yeah, that's gonna up the price if you got puppies off of this dog, just like with people champing out their dogs, the grand champion. Yeah, for those reasons, your dog should the price of their stud should go up. So therefore the price of the puppies should go up. I also feel like, okay, like say for instance, if you lock in a stud, your puppies really shouldn't go no more than that. If a stud is 5K, you shouldn't have your litter for the most part should be ranging around that. Every so often you're gonna have one where it's just gonna be like a freak of nature, and you be like, okay, yeah, in order for me to part with this one, I need this, right? And then if somebody really want that dog, it's no argument. They're gonna pay for it. But $10,000 for every dog in the whole litter because you bred this male with this female and the pedigree says that they should look like this, bullshit.
Let me ask you this before we go to Jacoby. Let me ask you this. All right, so since we're talking about what we locking dogs in at, right? Let's say for instance a dog, I lock him in at $3,000. His price ends up going up to $7,000. I don't use him until he's at $7,000. However, I lock in on 3. His current rate is $7,000. Do I look at my puppies based on the current rate or the rate that I spent?
That's a fair question.
The current rate?
The current rate.
What you think, Jacoby?
That's a tough question.
I don't think there's a wrong answer to that. That's I think that comes down to personal. I would take a safe route and probably play it myself somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I like that, somewhere in the middle, for sure. But going on the pricing of puppies and stuff, that everyone's touching on good topics. But I think we have a big population of like newer breeders or investment breeders where they're seeing these dogs go for high tags from these bigger breeders or quote unquote bigger breeders, and they're buying into it and they're saying, well, I spent the money, so I gotta recoup that money. This is a process. We got to work hard. We got to breed these dogs. It's not a get rich quick overnight. Is that what they say or whatever? But I think people are investing their money now more than ever and trying to see return in that now. So if they're going to these bigger studs or buying puppies for that much, automatically they think that's what it's worth.
Hey, 1 second. Let me we got somebody just jumped in. Scott White just jumped in with us, man. Is your volume working?
You hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you, man. Introduce yourself, your kennel. Where you from?
Yo, we out in Virginia. Blessed be on bullies.
And that's Scott White. Yeah, we can hear you. All right. Hey Scott, man, you just jumped in here. So it's a question in here right now from Ruel. He said, so Rocco puppies should all be sold for 50K. We're talking about how you price puppies based on the stud fee. And this was a question that was in there. Man, I know you just jumped in, put you in the hot seat right off the bat. Do you want to address this? So Rocco puppies should be all sold at 50K. How you feel about that statement?
Nah, I don't think so. How's the females looking? What we bringing to the table? You can't expect the male to do everything in this breeding, right? Um,
Mhm.
I think just because the stud is a well-known stud, a well-produced stud, well-promoted stud, I don't think you should put that price on it. That's what I
Okay.
believe.
I ain't mad at that. So look, we got another question. It said the rate increase. This from Robert Randolph. The rate increase is giving you the market value for the dog. If you have stock, when the stock value goes up, your share value will as well. Robert,
Exactly.
Mr. Randolph, I agree with that too, right? The stock goes up. However, just because the market is increasing, we're not making more money when we go to work though. So unfortunately, real life and the market don't really move together. So just everything is rising. So stud fees rising, the cost of doing surgicals, breedings, whelping services, dog food, everything rising. But we still making the same check that we made yesterday though. So us being workers for ourselves, I mean, we gotta understand both sides of the playing field, man. We gotta see it from the employee standpoint, and we gotta see it from the owner standpoint. So it's like, who are you going to, I guess, justify? Are you going to stand with the owners, or are you going to stand with the employees? That's how I look at that, man. And I don't really think it's a wrong answer to it.
Yeah, I'm with Robert Randolph on that.
You say if the market goes up, the prices go up too.
Yeah.
But y'all don't. Do you care that paychecks ain't going up?
Uh, I think that the person that locked in locked in the credit, actually was the person that took in the risk. They didn't know that value was going to go up, and that's kind of sort of almost a reward, being able to have a stud locked in at a cheaper rate than everybody else is at that current time. Um, and for a dog to be going up like that, majority of the times, if they're going up at a high rate like that, they're a known producer or a proven producer. So,
Or they just getting lock-ins?
I mean, yeah, that's in some instances, that's true. I mean, that's kind of been more today's type of time. Am I right? More or
From
less
what I
than
think, yeah. From what I've seen, people are saying, "Hey, look, man, I'm getting too many lock-ins to keep up with the demand, so I got to raise the price to slow the lock-ins down, and there ain't no puppies on the ground." But that's a whole nother can of worms that I don't really
yeah,
want to get into. But I kind of do, not kind of do, I do agree with you on the fact that you say if somebody lock in early and the price go up, that's their reward for like believing in that and locking in early, so they should get the cash out on that investment. When I look at it that way, I agree with that. Hey, Juan, man, you've been a little quiet, man. You got anything to add to that?
I mean,
So I would have to agree with that as well. Like if this mail is going up, that's why I made the comment before we even got on air about you wanna check the pedigree, and if you're doing an early lock in like that, you basically believe in what this mail is gonna do. So if this mail goes up, then that's one of the perks and benefits of it. So I don't see anything wrong with doing that. Yeah, I would do that, and I've also benefited from that out as well. So you can't fault somebody from for seeing the potential in something and then go in it. I mean, hell, look at it like this: if everybody knew the potential of Bitcoin in the very beginning, hey, this would be a whole different conversation. We'll be, you know, having conversations over $100,000 plates. Everybody will be rich. So, just seeing the potential of something and actually going for it, and if that male or that stud actually does good, then hey, it's a plus, it's a benefit. You can't get mad at somebody else for that.
So they should definitely be able to cash out on their investment.
Yeah, most definitely. Why wouldn't they?
No, I agree. I mean, when he brought that point up, I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I'm just kind of messed up on the fact that prices going up, but people are not getting paid more. So, I kind of sympathize with everybody that has to put money out. And the only people that are winning are people that are receiving money. So I'm just kind of sympathetic to that. Jacoby, I want you to touch on this, man. This right here. So would you price your pups on the quality? And then it says somebody said price it based on the stud fee. The quality and the stud fee. That's kind of like a twofold thing, right? Speak on that for me, Jacoby.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you definitely, price it on quality. Like Sheldon said earlier, not all puppies are going to be worth 10K. Not all puppies, you're not going to necessarily have a litter of hitters every time, or rarely you're going to have that. So, I mean, quality and everything that breeding goes in determines that price. The female, the male that you use, the pedigree. I mean, the quality of the litter itself is in consideration, but then you also got to look at the pups and did they get $10,000 in features? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna. We don't have litters that are hitters every time that are every puppy's gonna go. It's just not gonna happen. So,
Robert Randolph, how do you price your puppies? He's in the comments, y'all. Somebody want to know how you price your puppies. So, yeah, if you want to write that out in the comments, man, I'll bring that up on the screen and we can talk about how you price your puppies, Mr. Randolph. But, anyways, what's going on, Scott Dane? Either one of y'all want to touch on something, man, about this topic in general?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with y'all. He hit it as he said, I definitely agree.
Hey, I see a comment that I want to speak on.
Who made it? Who made it? I'll pull it up to the screen so
Okay,
everybody
so
can
it's
see it.
by Nate Gilmore. Okay, so Nate
So,
says
for
the cost of the. You said what? Read it out again.
The cost of the stud fee should not matter for price of pups. So he's saying it should be dictated. Well, I'm assuming he's saying it should be dictated 100% on the quality of the litter. But
No, that's not true. So say for instance, if I go lock in a stud for 5K, right? Um, for one, if you're interested in this litter, you probably already know about this stud, right? That's probably the reason why you're even coming to me inquiring about this litter, right? So off top, if you were to go breed to that stud or you was to get a puppy, um, you should be expecting that at a bare minimum, these pups are gonna go for the price of that stud. That's where that goes back to the conversation to where I was saying not every pup is gonna be the same price. You might have a pup in there that might be slightly more, which tends to be people's keepers. And then you might have one that just didn't turn out at all. And them be the ones that you stuck with after 8 weeks. So those may be a little lower. But when you're coming to somebody about a puppy and this stud costs $5,000 or $10,000, you should be at a bare minimum expecting it. Because if not, then you just came there with the wrong expectations if you're looking for a $2,500 dog and the stud is at 5K. And I ain't trying to send you out, bro, but I just seen that and it was like, yeah, I don't understand that.
hey Nate, if you said in the comments, man, what you got? What's your response to that? How does anyone else in here feel about that comment? I'll bring it back on the screen. Anybody else want to speak to that comment? I'll read it again. The cost of the stud fee should not matter for the price of the pup.
Yeah, I think it definitely matters because it kind of dictates the whole breeding. I mean, that's why we go into certain studs to get certain things.
See, yeah.
We're not going if it shouldn't dictate, we should be going to anybody's dog in our state and boosting our state up and just going phenotype for phenotype, not looking for a stud. We're looking for a stud. We breed into known producers. If you're breeding to a known producer, you're gonna expect at least the stud fee out of that. I'm not saying that it's always gonna be that, but you know what I mean.
Anybody else want to speak on that? Because I got something to say about it too. I got an opinion on that. But anybody else want to speak to it? I'll let y'all go.
Read his little comment.
No, I'll get to that in a second. But this I feel like the stud fee, the price of the stud fee does matter. It plays a role into how you price your puppy, but I don't think the price of your stud fee is going to dictate your quality one way or another. But if we're talking about a business, we got to consider what we spend it, right? Assets, liabilities, or whatever, like what went into this, and then you got to create a break even point. And all of the expenditures is going to have to come into play. So if I got 5K here and I got this in surgicals, I got this in welcome services, however you want to dictate your pricing, like the stud fee has to account for that to be your break even point. Now, I'm not saying that because you spent 20K, the dog should be 20K. No, I'm not saying that, but you got to find out a way to equate that stud fee in there if we move in this thing like a business, or either you just take your losses and you pet home those dogs, you write it off, but you still got to account for it even if it's a loss. That's how I feel about that. But also he says if your female not up to par, if you pay 20K for a stud, it don't even matter, right? I think everybody can agree with that. No arguments there.
I mean, shit, if you spending 50K for a dog, the goal is to find a 50K dog out of there. But if you taking a female that's not up to par to a 50K dog, then you gotta at that point you gotta question why you even breeding. Because then if that's the case, go get that 20K, and get a 20K bitch and take that to a 50K stud. Like I said, man, like bro, I do not want you to feel like that I'm trying to single you out, but it just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't say that again. What part doesn't make sense?
Like, if you're spending 50K for a pup, right? Okay, so the only dog right now that's going out for 50K is Rocco. Now, anybody that comes to get a dog, everybody in the bully game know that Rocco's fee is 50K. So how can you go up to somebody expecting for those puppies to be anything less than that, right? You gotta expect that these puppies are gonna be high. Anybody's gonna tell you that not every puppy is gonna be at their price. There's gonna be a 80K dog in there, right? Again, that's what I would consider that somebody would be holding on, such as their keeper. But then you're gonna also have a 30K dog that's gonna be in there. You might have one that's 25K, but you're not gonna know those prices until after you get your product, which is when this bitch has these pups.
Could you have
That's
a
when
3K dog in there?
That's no, fuck no.
No.
I mean, if that case is free. At that point, you might as well pay on it so you don't feel like you just really got fucked.
So what Nate is saying, man, the stud price should not matter. The price of the stud is not going to dictate your quality. That's all he's saying. And if that's what the case is, then you should not be pricing your dogs based on the fee, but more so on the quality. You can probably go to a 3K dog and get better quality than you get from a 20K.
I mean, it's gonna change, right? So if you lock in a price that dog at the bare minimum, you want to get your return back. So you're looking at, okay, in your head, these puppies are going for at a bare minimum 50K. But then you want to look at quality because you don't know what you're gonna get until you get it, right? So when you look at this dog based off of what you spent and what you feel like this dog can be or what it looks like based off of your input, right? Because your input is going to be the pricing of this dog. That's why a 50K dog to one person may not be a 50K dog to the next. When you look at these dogs, it's based off of what you feel like this dog is going to go for. But the price is going to change after you get the product in your hands. Because like I said, every puppy is not going to look the same. Now, if you get a consistent litter and every pup looks the same, then yeah, every pup can be priced the same. But that's not the way that this bully game goes. You're not going to get there. So the prices is going to change.
1 second. Scott, man, speak to this point right here. This guy says, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm noticing every day people are not paying double digits for these dogs. You have to be in the game to know what you're looking at. So what he's saying is, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, but you're saying that people should be pricing these dogs according to their, I guess, their experience level with breeding, because they may not know what they're looking at. So if I haven't seen enough dogs to know this is something phenomenal or this is trash, and I'm trying to sell it to you, and I'm pretty much looking at my first litter, I wouldn't be able to dictate the quality I'm looking at. Is that your question? Because that's the way it reads to me. Scott, what do you think about that? How does experience play into pricing?
What time? Huh?
Can you hear me, Scott? Well, I'm gonna pass this one to Jacoby then. Jacoby, how does experience play into pricing?
I don't think. I mean, how much experience are we talking? Because I don't think experience should play into pricing. If you have what you have and your breeding.
I'm sorry. If you're having your first litter, how do you know how do you know you're looking at a $20,000 puppy?
Shit, I don't. I mean, I'd have to work with somebody with that. I wouldn't even jump into it unless, like I said, there are people coming in the game just buying that, but they're not seeing the experience. So I guess I don't know if it'll factor into pricing necessarily, but I'm definitely not going to know what I'm looking at to see if I have a $20,000 dog. But I'm probably going to think I do because I paid that, or you know what I mean. I inquired for that, but if I'm not experienced at all, I don't know what I'm looking at, so I'm not going to know how to price that dog.
Dang.
I feel it does. Experience does play a part in it because you're paying for somebody's hard work. Years that they've been building this particular dog, they ran big name dog to big name dog to other big name dog. Now you get it. One dog could potentially put you ahead of most people if you buy the right dog. So yeah, I think experience plays a big part in this game. If you've been breeding 10 years and you following the market, you kind of know which way the direction is going. You kind of can see how it's moving. So in my opinion, that is a big determining factor to know what you really have.
Address this question while you still got the floor. What if they aren't the quality you expected? Do you drop the price, or do you still charge the high price to meet the quota?
If they're not turning out, if they don't look like a $10,000 dog, you shouldn't be selling a $10,000 dog. Period. You know what I mean? So,
That's a simple one for you.
Yeah, that's simple. I mean, you don't want to get over on people. That comes into people knowing the quality. Some people do sell dogs and don't know what a $10,000 dog look like, and they sell it to somebody, and they may have not got the dog. They may have, but it's the more deeper you're in your program, you're kind of going to be able to know what to expect from these dogs or from your female, what she threw the last 2 litters, the third breed, and you're going to kind of get an idea. Okay, I remember this one looked like this. I remember how it turned out. Of course, it's not definite that it's going to turn out like that, but it's a good chance.
Okay. Big 50K easy. You don't know the dog worth till you seen the whole litter. Nobody got no show female keepers, real breeders hide it.
That stuff.
You're not gonna see the whole litter, right? People gonna have them keepers. So every stud that has a stud fee of cop produce puppies. All right, Shelton Bullet. So does every stud that has a stud fee of 5K produce puppies that are worth 5K at least?
No, I mean, you're gonna have some dogs that hit and miss. I mean, that comes with part of still trying to better this breed. So with that being said, you're gonna do these breedings where you might, a dog is gonna, outproduce itself. Then you're gonna have a dog to where it just produce at the bare minimum itself, and then you're gonna have these dogs that produce less than par. Until we can get to a point to where we got some consistency with these litters, like where every litter is coming out exactly the same, litter for litter for litter, yeah, the prices is gonna fluctuate.
Mhm. All right, so
That's why quality kicks in so much because
say that again.
every
Say that
puppy.
again.
I
I'm
said
sorry.
that's why quality kicks into the picture like how it does
Quality.
because every pup is not gonna look the same, so they're not gonna be priced the same.
I
Okay.
think that goes into what that comment says of shouldn't the pups be priced
Right.
before they're here? I
Right.
mean, no, I think you gotta look at the quality of the pups at hand.
Yeah, I agree with that. You shouldn't price a pup before they get here. But even though you shouldn't, like, I don't think you should have the top price of a pup before they get here, but you gotta have your bottom before they get
Yeah.
here. Even if you sell a dog that you consider to be pet quality, you already gotta know what you're willing to let a pet quality dog go for. And then once you determine that, then you know that you're selling a breeding dog is going to be above that level. So yeah, I don't think your top part of your margin should be figured out, but you should know where your bottom at. You should definitely know where your bottom is before you even
Thank you.
start breeding.
The top part, the sky's the limit.
I don't know about
The sky's the limit.
no, it's not. No.
I mean, you just give people a range, right? Say for instance, if you know that this breeding is gonna be somewhere in let's say 15K range, right? Um, you want to do anything between. I feel like if you go on for pups around that range, I want to say you want to have a 5-6K swing
Hmm?
to where it can go up or below that
Wait, a
on
five
these on these
six
pups.
K, a 5 to 6K swing
Yeah,
based on what? What determines a 5 or 6K swing?
the quality.
The quality.
Yeah.
That's a big swing.
Okay.
That's a big swing to me. I don't know how that swing is that far. So when you say something to me like that, I'm going to ask you what features determines every $500 or every $1,000 for you to bump this up. And if you got enough features to bump a 5 or 6K swing, I feel like that bottom one should probably be a pet home. And maybe this one and this
And
one.
and and it would, right? The lower that swing go, that's more of a dog that you wouldn't keep, and they will more likely go to a pet home, right? That's gonna be somebody that's just really want that dog, and you just really just like her, man. You just give me this and that's that. But then like the upper part of that swing is gonna be those dogs to where okay, you might got your keeper out of that, but then it might be another one that you wanted to keep, but yet you don't got room for it. So on a co-own type deal.
I really
But yeah, like I mean, when you go on with these dogs, like the swing can go anyway. It's really based off of where you pricing these dogs at. But a starting point for me is the stud price. Is that going to change? Hell yeah, it's going to change. Once you get the product, once these puppies are here and you get to looking at them, yeah, it's going to change. But at the beginning of the conversation, if somebody asks you, "Hey, what's this litter going to go for?" At a starting rate, the stud fee should be that.
who really showing their whole litters without hiding their keepers.
No, no, I show my whole litters. I don't be hiding
I
my
mean,
keepers. I
Yeah,
bring
you
them
might
out.
not hide the keeper, but when somebody say I want that dog, you go, oh no, 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 not that one. You can have this one.
I say you got to pay for it. If you
Are
want that dog, you got to pay for it. I did this breeding for that dog. You
So
got
are
to
you
pay for
willing
it
to sell him? Are you willing to sell him or
for the
her
right number. For the right
for the
number.
right number? Why you do the breeding? If you want to get rid of the best dog that you think was gonna move your program forward, why do
Well,
the breeding?
I mean, money can always as well fund my program and move it forward as well. It doesn't
Financially.
always have to be in the form of the dog. It could be dog food. It could be anything to help fund the program. It doesn't, and I
look
can
at a
always come
facility.
up. I can come up with a roundabout way to make the same thing happen. Of
I
course,
don't
they may be a little bit ahead of me because I just sold that dog.
I don't believe first picks are for sale for breeders. That's just me. Like a
That's
first
that.
a
Go
first
ahead.
pick should never be for sale. There is no price you can put on the first pick to tell
Facts.
me that you're breeding for your program's improvement if you're willing to sell a first pick. I feel like you're gonna be breeding for you more than your program, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just know that people breed differently and they got different goals. I wouldn't even know how to price a first pick. It means that much to me. Like that's where like I'm gonna have to give you something so fucking crazy that I really want you to leave me alone.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's how those offers come. It's gonna be
uh,
crazy.
That's how you see
and,
them big
and,
numbers
and it
go.
and it has to be because I mean, think about it. At the end of the day, you getting your first pick for what, right? Because it's showing what some type of features. But you're picking this dog for these features so you could breed this dog and add to features, which is going to return bring in revenue, right? So at the end of the day, regardless how you want to look at this dog, whether you say it's furthering your program or you looking at the capital, it always points back to funding, right? So if it's a dog that you just really don't want to part ways with, right? This is the dog that you're saying, like, hey, this is the one that's gonna further my program. Like, I am not getting rid of this dog. This is dog right here is gonna take me to the next level. If this is how you really feel about getting to the next level, somebody could buy that dog off of you because how do you I mean at the point the next level is more funding, more recognition, whatever the case may be. That dog got a number. You might not want to say it has a number, but it has a number. And that number that you agree to is going to do the same thing that that dog would have did.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't never got to a point where my first pick had a number.
It doesn't they don't have
It,
one until you hear it,
yeah,
right?
right.
The dog don't have a number until you hear the number.
But I don't hear a number when somebody says that. I just say that's not even available. I say that's
Because
not
they haven't
available.
they haven't got the speaking numbers.
I feel like
I'm
you
telling
can't
you.
do it. I feel like
I'm
you be
telling
like
you.
I feel like you be like something tell me something I can't refuse or what
Oh,
she can
okay,
do. I'm not having those
okay,
conversations. I'm killing it.
okay. So check this out, right? Just just give me a scenario breeding, right? Just give me a scenario so we can base it off of what you spent for the stud. Just
All right.
name a dog or just name a price. We
Rocco.
can go with a price, huh?
Rocco. Rocco.
Rocco. Okay, so you spend 50K, right? And you get you a puppy. This puppy right here is nice. You be like, yeah, this is a clone, etc., etc. This I just spent all of this money. Hell, I probably just opened up a second mortgage for the house just to get this damn dog, do this breed, whatever the case may be. This dog is supposed to take you to this next stage, the big stage where everybody want to fuck with you and breed to this dog, right? Somebody come up to you and say, I give you 100K, giving 100K due to the fact that they're doubling the price on what you spent for the stud. You say, no, I'm gonna make that, his first year opening. I give you 200K. No, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna make that, eventually. Okay, 500K. No, I ain't gonna do that.
That
A
dog
million.
sold.
Wait a
Nah,
minute. Hold on. A
I ain't make,
million. I'm gonna
I ain't
make that
making it
the
to
life of the. I'm gonna make that the life of the dog, and then they gonna hit you with that number plus stud credits. You a fool if you don't, because at the end now what are
yeah,
you doing,
we talking
right?
fairy tale though. That's fairy tale.
No, that's not a fairy
That's
tale.
possible.
If that's possible, I mean,
You
hell,
got to have those
what did
conversations.
Magoo sell for?
We're not in $1 million dog conversations. Let's be real.
I guarantee you, people offered Bashard 100K before Magoo even left the state, right? People threw numbers at him. So like of course the dog is not gonna get sold until you hear that right number. No dog has a number until that number is said to you. So you don't think when Bashar sold that dog for a half a meal, to where when people kept telling him, you know, $250,000, $100K, whatever, when he heard that number, he was like, shit. Well,
You
hold
gotta
on.
go.
But
What
Sean
you
tell you
say?
though, like, he'll tell you like, bro, I'm in this for the money. So when he makes a move like that, you
Okay.
got to separate the people that's breeding
And
different reasons.
I understand everybody won't sell their first pick. Some people won't eat. Some people want a pair off of each breeder. You get what I'm saying? But in the same sense, I look at it like if I have the money and you're not willing to sell me a first pick, even if I got good money, why should I buy a dog from you? You just want to give me the ends of shit. If that's
Yeah,
the case, I'll buy a stud credit.
Yes.
yeah,
I'll just buy a fucking stud credit instead of buying a dog.
So you want to buy the first pick.
Yeah, if I'm buying a dog from somebody, I want a top pick. I do not want a lower pick.
Crazy. It's not crazy that you want that. It's crazy that people is like saying, yeah, you can have my first pick.
I mean, everybody's not looking for the same thing. You might be looking for a male out of the litter. I might be looking for a female. So, I mean, they still first pick male, first pick female. If one of them is available, I mean, I might not need a female. I might have too many females. So, even though I did this breeding for a male, do I still not sell my first pick female? Even though I kind of wanted to keep her, but somebody just offered me it back.
First pick male versus first pick female is not first overall. That means you step back and you get that man the reins to your fucking program for that moment and let him decide what he wants, whether it be the female or the male.
So you mean first?
and if you do that, you got to pay for it.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all
Yeah,
saying y'all
facts.
will do it.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, you have to pay.
Stupid number.
So do you price it or do you allow them to price it?
I'm gonna price it, and I'm gonna price it off of the theory of what I think he's gonna be able to do. I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm probably gonna do half of that. If I feel like this male puppy is gonna easily hit 40, I mean, we know puppies turn out different, but I'm just saying, if you're going off of your breeding and what you're projecting to have, and you've been breeding for a while, you know what I mean? I may not say, hey, give me the whole 40. I might say, hey, bring me 20.
So when
It's right now.
When you did your recent litter, you had 2 males off of that. If I wanted to say, hey, bro, I want my first pick male, you was willing to sell that at that moment?
No.
I
can't say every litter.
Everything got a price,
but
man.
I mean it do. But
so would you hold it?
You want to know his price? Is that what you're asking? Somebody asked me how much, and I told them I want a house. I want a house for him. So however they interpret that, they can come back with a rebuttal, but I want a house for him. They said, okay, that's a
It was at 8 weeks.
Yeah, they said they said they want him. I said I want a house for him.
Is he for sale now?
No.
It's a price for everything.
It's different. It's different once you start campaigning. It's different once you start putting promo behind it.
So the price goes away or the price goes up?
To answer that, can I get you, bro?
Do they got 2 houses?
That's what I want to know.
Okay. I mean, that's what it's gonna boil down to.
Hey, Scott, let me with us, bro.
I'm back. You need 2 houses.
Give me 1 second, Shelton Bully, man. Scott, we had you going for a minute, man. What you want to say, bro?
No, I agree. I'm just listening, man. I agree. I think me personally, I'm not selling my first pick though. Why was the sense I'm doing the breeding? I do the breeding for me.
You're not selling the first pick?
No, I'm not selling the first pick.
I can't offer you nothing crazy to change your mind?
No. Not that once I make my mind on what I'm picking. No, I'm not changing my mind.
Nothing ridiculous?
I mean, ridiculous price, but off the jump, I'm not selling my first pick. Off the jump.
So,
you make me...
What if I'm gonna give you 2 houses, Scott?
Yeah, it's gone. Come get it.
So you got a price.
It's a ridiculous one. All right,
Yeah.
I mean, but when you don't want to sell a dog, that's how that price gotta be.
That's how it gotta be. Yeah.
And then you got somebody that's just as crazy as as the price that you name to actually say I still get it.
So look, let me ask y'all this: if you are going, oh, that's my dog. Yeah, can y'all hear me over my dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, you good.
If you are going so hard on, I am not keeping this first, I'm not selling this dog. How much that'll affect the rest of the litter? The people going like, God damn, you know he got something right there, but he's willing to sell this. Now you made the fucking people feel like all of this is watered down.
No, it's not, because you got to look at it like this. Whenever you be like, okay, I sold my first pick, you know what the first thing they're gonna ask you? I guarantee you, everybody know the first thing they're gonna ask you.
How
How
much?
much? Because if you got rid of that dog, it better been worth it.
For real.
You right.
Better
You
been
right.
worth it. It
That's
had
a
to be
fact.
that the
You
price
right.
had to been so crazy for you to get rid of something that you did not want to get rid of. You get what I'm saying? Like the number had to been crazy. What's crazy? 2 motherfucking houses.
You hear me?
So it's like when you give them a crazy number, that's basically you saying no, the dog ain't for sale.
Yeah.
And then you got somebody else saying, okay, well, let's see. I'll take it for that. Then at that point, you got to be like, nah, man, he just ain't for sale. I was playing. You
Yeah.
got to tuck your tail and be like, I just can't do it. Or
Demo,
you gonna
I
do
ain't
it,
gonna
right?
lie. Your
if,
heart gonna drop. At first, it's gonna
Yeah,
drop.
yeah,
You gonna
it's
feel
gonna get
sick.
scary. It's gonna
look,
get scary.
Demo, if I sell my first pick, Demo, I swear to God, it got to be for a price that I will never second guess it. I don't care if that dog become
Man,
the next.
man,
If that
man,
dog
look.
becomes the world,
Man, look,
I would
you got this dog, you produce that dog, and you be like, man, they hit you with that 20K for that dog, okay, 30K, 40K, and then they say fuck it, $1 million. You be
yeah.
like, oh man, you playing, right? Because
I'm not fucking. Let's be
this
real.
Yeah.
number is just
Let's be
ridiculous.
I,
real. Let's be real. I ain't no fucking idiot. It's like I said.
Okay, so the
It
dog
gotta
has a
be.
price.
Yeah.
You
We've been
just
said
haven't
that.
heard
We've
the
been said
price.
that. We've been
So
said
it
that.
just saying that you're not gonna par with it, you're not gonna par with it until you hear what you gotta par with it with.
Yeah, all I said is I haven't heard that yet. That's all I
yeah.
said. It gotta be
Okay.
Yeah.
legit.
And that's what I was saying. Yeah, we gotta have in order to get that kind of offer though, we gotta have them kind of conversations. If you shutting it down in the beginning, it's no way to have that conversation.
Yeah, but I'm trying to shut it down because I'm low key scared I might hear
Yeah.
something make me
Yeah.
move.
You
Facts.
and look and listen
I'm
and
scared I
that's why I say what I said, because if you scared that you might hear the number, then the dog is already for sale. Dog
it
is
may
already for sale
it may
because you afraid that somebody gonna see what you see.
it
The
may be.
dog is
I just
already
didn't
for
publicize
sale.
it. I just didn't
Even your
publicize.
even the first pick, of course not, right? Nobody ever gonna say the dog is up. You know, for the people that say the dog is up for sale for the right price, the dog has been for sale. The dog that's for sale is the one that you don't never say that's for sale. The one that you
Exactly.
might not ever post or whatever the case may be. And when
Yep.
somebody come asking you for that dog, they know to aim high off the jump.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that don't happen. So you know what I mean? Because
You hoping that it don't happen? What you
yeah,
doing this for?
what I'm
Everybody
doing is
hoping that it do.
oh
Hey, that's the point.
we
Hey, that's the point of getting that's the point of getting a stud, right? You want the stud to be the best
no,
stud. You want him
hold
to
on,
be
time
producer.
out,
You
time
want
out.
him to be a grand champ. You want him to put his stamp on,
Hold
because
up. You about
somebody
to
gonna
take the
see the value.
conversation somewhere else. You about to take the conversation somewhere else. Time out, time out. Let's not talk about why we doing breedings for and what we doing, this for, because that's gonna go somewhere else. Let's just try to stick to how the pricing is dictated in this market, and what direction this is going for everybody. But
Pri-
yeah, that could open
price
up a can of worms.
price price dictated by the work people putting in at the
I
Boom.
end
was
of the
gonna,
day.
I was gonna say the
Boom.
same.
That's a big
That's
factor.
it can't necessarily that
That's a
can't
big factor.
necessarily be the answer though, because everybody putting in the same amount of wealth and work, right? You
Everybody
might
ain't putting in the same amount of work.
you might say yes, you might say no, but if I get the 8 weeks and my puppy's still alive, I just did 8 weeks worth of work.
Yeah. 8 weeks only scratching the surface. The whelping,
Yeah, but
the easy part. We ain't talking about the whelping.
what about
Maybe
that
no
10
more.
years?
Yo,
But what
yo, you
about
will.
that 10? But what about that 10 years that somebody put in building their program?
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter if you're still producing
I
trash.
mean,
You can't tell me your trash has experience.
Then I mean, if you producing trash, then nobody ain't even coming to check for what you produce. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like people are coming for the people that actually put the work in the program. So you're really paying for somebody else's work, which it kind of go back into politics, right? Because
Let's
somebody could have that same dog.
Hold
Somebody
on,
could
y'all.
have.
One second. Scott was trying to chime in. Let's not change the point first.
It's okay.
You still there, Scott? My bad, y'all. Scott coming around.
yo,
Yeah, I'm waiting on you. What you want to add?
now I'm saying I agree with Damien, man. Not everybody is willing to drive 10 hours to go do a breeding when FedEx is shut down or it's a snowstorm and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people willing to do that and come back, drive 10 hours one way, 10 hours the other way. You know, it's work behind this stuff.
Are you gonna
mm-hmm.
upsell me because you had to take that drive?
No, I'm not saying I'm upselling you, but I'm saying that's where the work, the dedication come in. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It separates what you want from, yo, I'm about to get this. I'm about to do this. This has to happen.
Are you gonna
But
let that
then,
affect the pricing?
but then, but then you also got to look at that's going to be somebody that you're going to want to buy from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that type of drive for somebody to do something like that, they're also going to put that same type of work into their program. So when you get to looking at a 10K dog, you're looking at somebody that's willing to drive a whole day to get a breeding done.
Hold on, let me address
So
this. Let me address this. Hold on, let me address this. Somebody says, "Come on, Ray, fight back." Listen, I don't know if you ever attended a podcast before or not. I'm a host. I'm engaging the conversation and I'm keeping it moving forward. I'm not fighting with these people and I'm
Right.
not fighting against these people. We are
We
providing content and education for everybody that's out there. We
100%.
all have
100%.
different perspectives. So
yeah, it's
100%.
all love
All
on this
love.
video.
yeah,
All
I'm
love
hey.
not
out here. All
fight
love.
these people. This is
All
this
love.
is
So
conversation, and what this is called being the devil's advocate, man. Just so that y'all can get more information. So I ignored
Hmm.
it the first time. He posted it again, but what you're looking at right now is a master at work. So sit back and enjoy the show, man.
So
How many
in
of y'all
my opinion, when you looking at somebody's work, how far they came, when you go to somebody's profile to buy a puppy, you see their very first puppy. If you go back far enough, then you see where they at now. Should our prices be the same as when we first
No,
started?
that says a lot. That says a
So
lot.
now that we're up here and say we do have a couple people that pay 10,000 for a dog, which is kind of setting our mortgage for us. Um, you got to have a nice dog to be able to sell it for that.
never
But then
agree.
again, who buys a dog from somebody that they have better dogs than?
The parking authority. Like, let's say you're moving
Should we ask them how much they selling their dogs for before they come buy a dog from us?
to block off spots.
Because if they selling their dogs for 5,000, should we be selling ours for 5,000? If they come to us knowing that ours are better, getting a second or third pick?
Parking enforcement, parking authority. And then
What are you talking about, man? You talking about people up?
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about pup pricing.
Talking about people flipping dogs?
No, I'm talking about pup pricing. I'm saying, okay, majority of people that make a big purchase, even people that make 10, 20K purchase, they usually just had a litter and they got that extra money to fund their program. They may have sold their first pick to get a better dog. They may come to somebody and pay 20. Like, hey, if I get this dog from you and your program, it's going to boost me up. Should somebody have to pay to level up? Or should they just pay the same thing they just sold their puppies for to somebody else? Oh, we quiet
Talking to
now?
me? You
I'm
talking to
saying
me?
in general. I'm saying in general.
I'm gonna just let it float out there in the general universe. It makes sense to me what you're saying.
I mean, that's how I look at it.
I you gonna argue with something that's gonna make sense? This a good
Man,
one,
that
right?
play into the part of politics. Like, if somebody else done put in that work, you want to be attached to what they did, right? That's also, just to say, okay, hey, I got these puppies out for this person, that person. If you got a dog that's a real nice stud and a real nice producer, uh, he's attached to a person that got him there. So
Mm-hmm.
you being attached to that person is also gonna bring your breeding on right. That's why,
Good,
like, anytime you do
good.
a breeding with somebody, what do you want to do? You want to be tagged. You want that person to shout you out and say that you used their stud, because just the fact that you are connected to that person is gonna bring you whatever it is that you're looking for out of it.
Hey, Dan, this one
Yeah.
for you. This one right here for you to address. Are you
What?
familiar? Are you familiar with the TBKC?
No.
That is the True Bully Kennel Club. This is the registry that Sorrell, I don't know his last name. Sorrell is starting Hall of Fame Bullies. This is a registry that he is starting. This guy just want to know if you're familiar with that registry. Um, I'm familiar with it. Do I rock with it at this point? No. Right now, it's not enough going on to make your dog like a champion or nothing. So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of existing almost as a fun show side. But he got a lot of great ideas for how to do some things and create some consistency in it. I just think he got to build that registry up a little bit more, get some attendance going through it. But yeah, I'm familiar with it, man. Talk that talk, Uncle Dan. Y'all all gonna act like y'all ain't sale dogs y'all know y'all should have kept. Let's talk about uncomfortable shit. Anybody on here
I
sold the
mean,
dog should have
players
kept?
mess up sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody,
Mm,
in the very beginning, got rid of a dog that they didn't see the potential in. Kennel blindness is real.
I think if you sell a dog that you should have kept, man, I think sometimes it's a good thing because that shows like customer service. And if you sold me a dog you should have kept, I'm probably gonna shop with you again. Cause
repeat customer.
I
Yeah, but
mean,
if
bro,
you but but if you sold a dog that you should have kept, I'm pretty sure you didn't do it purposely, right?
no, you didn't. It's you didn't see the right thing at the right time. Maybe that dog was a late bloomer. Oh man. Well, how about this? How many of us almost sold a dog they could have they should have kept? I almost sold the dog I should have kept. I just nobody gave
I
me the
mean,
right price. And a year later, I said, "Oh my God, thank God!" It was a dude that was real close to it, but he just didn't quite make the number. And that was one of the best sales that never happened. I'll be sick to this day. My program ended up being built off of that dog that almost got away.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did that. I mean, I ain't saying that I ain't never got rid of a dog that turned out, to be what I wish I would have kept. But like, as for if I see a dog, it was like, I ain't never just had a dog. It was like, ah, man, I almost gave you away, but I kept you. It was like, nah, if I know I'm gonna keep a dog, I know I'm gonna keep a dog, and that dog is gonna stay. And then if it just don't turn out, it don't turn out. But it's like just getting rid of one or almost getting rid of one. Nah, that ain't never happened to me.
Yeah, it's a couple people in here that saying they did do that by accident for sure, for sure.
I mean, I've done it intentionally. Like
Yeah, mine was intentional too,
I've
but
done it
like,
intentionally. Like, man, I really don't want to sell this dog, but hey,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it's gonna be, but
He's looking good, man. We can get with that offline, man. I don't want to, stray off topic, but yeah, I can definitely link with you offline and show you what's up. Beauty, your daughter off Queenie. I should have kept her. Definitely seller's remorse, man. I'm pretty sure somebody told you that was the one though. You sold that one, and somebody said, "Yo, don't sell this one. She's it." And you said, "Nigga, I ain't trying to hear that shit." And you sold her. I think somebody did say that to you.
yeah, I said the same thing to BMO.
He's Demo in here. Demo in here saying he did it. I wonder if y'all talking about the same dog.
I told him. Boy, you better keep that dog. This one and this one.
And them be the ones that you end up not letting go for the right price, or you let it go for more than less than what it ends up turning out to be. Yeah,
I feel like the further you get in your program, you start to realize what's what, though. You know what I mean? I could say in the earlier days with the Louis V, the stuff that popped a little bit slower, that was very bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? Something that popped 10 months from now, you're like, damn, I sold that dog. I thought it was gonna be nice, but
why you calling names though?
why not? I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? We keeping it 100. That's how it was. We all had them dogs back in the day.
I mean, I can be honest and say I started out with what is considered classic, or some might even. I think it may be considered classic, but the way my vision changed now, I would call it a lack of breed type altogether. I wouldn't even want to deal with it as being considered as a classic. I would just be like,
Yeah.
I don't care. It got too much terrier trait for me. I don't care if it's a classic. I started there. I don't know how
Yeah,
many
we had to build it up. Okay, so say now, right? You started there, right?
Here we go.
You started there.
Yeah, I started there.
You going hard in your breeding. You 3, 4, 5 years in, and you getting exactly what you expected. Even the second pick is looking like the first pick, but you just don't got the room. You know what I mean? Like,
That's happening.
you know what I mean? Like,
Where you going with this?
So are we gonna sell that puppy for cheaper? You don't put the work in, and now you producing some consistent shit.
Am I gonna sell my now puppies for cheaper than what? What am I comparing?
Yeah. To your puppies closer to your goal. Are you gonna sell them for the same price?
To the starting you know what I started at?
Not fully started, but let's say 3,500. We're gonna throw a number out. If you've been selling dogs for 3,500 for the last couple of years and you progressed 2 years, 3 years down the line, are those puppies still gonna be 3,500 once you're getting closer to your look, to your bloodline?
No, I'm not selling it like that. But as the breed as a whole, though, right? Like, I don't think anybody should be where they was at. That's my problem. I feel like the prices are going up too fast when we have too much inconsistency. Like, can we let the breed develop slowly, like the prices are developing slowly? Because the dogs today that might be worth 10K in 2 years, they could be the dogs that people are saying, bro, don't breed to that. Because
Yeah, I mean,
so fast. But now you got him for 10K 3 years ago. Whatever the thing is now, today is now 20, and the breed still ain't finished. So when we evolve again, we're gonna be evolving to the bottom line is 30. Damn, who can afford to even breed at this point? And then we still gotta feed them. It's just like the breed, the money is evolving faster than the breed. That's what I get hung up on. But no, you should not be selling dogs that you.
I feel like people. Yeah, I feel like even in that instance, even on the expensive puppy, people got options.
1 second, Dan. Hey, Shelton, I don't know if you know that you're on mute, but you are. So if you have been trying to comment, man, we haven't heard you. I apologize unless you know you did that. Go ahead, Dan.
What I was about to say.
Good. It probably was gonna be some mess. We was talking about what I said was the money is evolving faster than the breed itself. If that don't ring your bell, I hope it don't.
I feel like the breed is evolving. We went from standards to tall pockets to short pockets. You know what I'm saying? And it's about who gonna get there first. Who see the market? Who gonna get there first?
Where? Where's there?
I mean, you probably don't want me to say where there is, but I'm just saying.
You know what you finna say.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that out to live, man.
I want to know where you're going with this. Who's going to get there first? So what you're saying, breed right now we breeding and the money is evolving. We're racing to a point.
I'm saying that we went from classic standards to the breed is evolving, just like you said.
So
the price got to go up.
We started at Excel, probably right. 2021 Excel, standard, pocket, micro. Now people talking about nanos.
You hear me?
So are we going to end up getting to a real pocket bully, like one you can just pull out? Here's my bully.
I hope we get to the teacups. I hope we get a teacup. You know what I'm saying? Take some cute pictures.
Man, somebody in their basement, they hadn't already did that. They just trying to stabilize it. Make sure it works.
They trying to lock you in them trays. First one to lock it in is gonna win.
Yeah. So just trusting the blood stuff, right? Trust the blood. Trust the blood. Trust the blood. You gotta have experience to trust the blood. You can't have your first litter and think you can trust the blood when you don't know what the blood do. Like you gotta have experience to be like, hey, bro, don't worry about this. I've seen that before. Because I almost let a dog go before that turned out to be amazing. I looked at the litter the next time, and it's another little ugly one in there, and I'm like, I know what the last little ugly one did. You stand right here, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? Can't trust the blood without experience.
Yeah.
Hey, so this is the question. This is the question. So for say we gotta say we're using the top producing stud, right? We're using the top producing stud, and we're taking it to a female that's a proven producer. Does the stud price matter then? She done already had 2 litters and she done produced crazy on both of them. And we know he's a non-producer.
It really don't. It really don't. Not to me, because I think, you know what? Scott, man, you address that. You address that, Scott.
See that? If she's a proven producer.
Your female is a proven producer, and you take her to a stud that's a proven producer. Does the stud fee now matter to how you price the puppy?
It varies, man. Are we doing an outcross or are we tightening up the blood? It depends. So it depends on what we're doing. If I know I got traits locked in, and yeah, she's a proven producer, but I don't know how she's gonna throw with that outcross. I mean, it depends, man. It depends.
That's a political answer.
It depends. I mean,
so let's say just to clear it up, let's say, in my opinion, the female being promoted just as a stud will get promoted. You don't see too many females like that, but some people do have females like that.
100%.
For me, I get exactly what he's saying as far as if it's an outcross or in-cross.
I get it, because now
that would make me.
He don't even know at this point. He's starting to experiment.
Yeah. So I mean, but in the same sense, I feel like if you was doing a line breeding, that's almost about to make it more valuable than the male stud feet, in my opinion.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But I feel like I could come in with a baseline with a proven producer, even if it was an outcross of the male stud feet. Long as the puppies look up to par, of course, but I just feel like if I was to guesstimate before they came.
I mean, I could say my puppy's starting at 8, and then when that litter drop, I'm like, damn, that ain't no 8K puppy. That's a 5K puppy. You know
That's true. That's true. Hey, what they say, the outcrosses hit the hardest. Hey, ain't that what they say?
Oh, they hit the hardest.
Bro. Them hits the hardest.
Yeah. People say outcross that dog. You gonna have
the hardest.
So, what's the market? Let's be honest.
How the fuck I do that?
You see Brandon?
Yeah, I don't even know how to do that. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out. I hope ain't nobody in here trolling because this ain't the venue for that. I'm gonna get you right on up out of here. ASA double P.
Yeah, man. Keep it love, man.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on,
Keep
man.
it love. You don't need this
Hey,
drama.
Dame, what comment was you about to say in regards to Brandon?
Yeah, y'all handle that while I try to block this dude up.
What's he said? What's the market? Let's be honest, because if people didn't know dogs was selling for the price they see or hear, would you price a dog at 50K? And be honest with yourself, because it's a lot of pocket watching. Honestly, I feel like that's with anything. I mean, if you're going to go buy something, you're going to research, you're going to go check the market. It don't matter if it's some electronics. It don't matter
Especially
if you're in the car for a new truck. I mean,
especially when you're about to pay that bread, that
yeah.
type of money.
hmm I feel like if everybody in the game not selling it for less than 5,000, what make you think you about to get it for less than 5,000? And if you do get it less than that you was blessed. Dog crossing is a profession.
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, lucky I don't know how to block you right now. But I'll get it figured out for sure. But hey man, we got something good going on here. I don't really know what you on, but take that back over there, man. How much for a proper stud? Man, oh man, I didn't open this. It's getting ugly.
Depends on the work that you done put into him.
No, because they still don't know who the real stud daddy is. Oh, how we get to that conversation? How we talking about who the daddy is? How we get to this? What we talking about at this point?
I mean, we
What we talking about?
we all know the stud impacts it a lot. Because I mean, what's the first thing people ask you when they hit you up for a dog? Who the daddy?
Pedigree.
Who y'all for?
No,
Who the daddy? That's the
Yeah,
first one.
whole
send that
pedigree.
fed.
The
Send
top
that
and the
fed.
bottom.
Send
Bro,
that
the
fed.
bottom is so important. The bottom is way more important, right? Because if you tell me who you bred to, Dan, I don't care who.
Yeah, that's the next question. What's the pedigree?
But if you tell me who you breed to, Dan, your last breeding,
R2.
R2. I know his pedigree by heart. One, who did you breed to in your last breeding?
Me?
Yeah,
Marcus, which is a golden child son.
that's Heat Wave Dog.
Yep.
I know that pedigree.
But see, when you've been in this, when you're really studying these dogs like how we do, you know it. Like some dogs, I just don't got to see a pedigree because I just know it already.
Yeah, it's like
When
once
you
you hear the
study in the
name,
market, you know it.
Because that's where promotion of the stud comes in. But when you promote your female, that's where it gets balanced. You know what I'm
you was
saying? So,
okay,
so,
Scott. Fair enough.
so
I don't know your female, but I know the stud. I need to know your female though, because I already know the stud. That's out of my mind.
But the stud is what reels them in, right? Because
Yeah,
anytime you got productions, the first thing they want to know is who you bred to. I mean, if they're following you already, whether if it's on Facebook, IG, or whatever the case may be, they already know what your female look like.
yeah.
So if they're already following you, they probably intrigued by your female. Now they want to know what you took their female to, which
exactly.
basically what's going to sell it for them.
Now I want to know what made your female. I want to know what made her. That's how I'm coming at that point because I'm hoping that what made her is something that I can tap back into in line breed, perhaps.
I mean, yeah, when you got a nice female, that really sells a deal because if you got a mediocre female, anything that you get off of her, you're gonna get a 50-50. You're gonna get a 50% chance that she's gonna produce herself, but then you're gonna have a 50% chance that it's gonna produce the male, and we all know the females give over at least about 70% of the look.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hold on,
the
hold on, hold on, hold on,
female,
hold on. Let's put a timeout on this. Where that information come from? Why do so many people say that? Why do people say this is 70, 80, 60, 50? Why is that conversation that? Why
I
do we
mean,
believe?
if you've been breeding these dogs for a while and you're into the breeding and the look of these dogs, you
Mhm.
know, I can't say that I did the research myself, but I done researched enough to where that number keeps popping up. And then if you just based it off of litters that you done did off your own, if you do enough breedings, you will see it yourself that that your female will give most of the features to these dogs. I mean, yeah, the male is gonna contribute, but he's not gonna contribute nowhere near as much as the female is gonna contribute.
Well,
Yeah, like
I'm gonna say this. It is 50-50. It
I
is one.
believe.
It is 100% 50-50. Now, whether your female throws some traits more so that you are familiar with, that doesn't change the fact that it's 50-50. Where the dad might have something to do with the skin under the coat that you can't see, or vice versa. Yo, it is 100% 50-50. I want to say it's 39 and 39, male and female, and it's going to equally distribute dominant and recessive from both sides. So I don't know, like this 70 and stuff. Maybe people say, hey, look, I see that my girl dominated this litter. I'm not saying that that's true or not true, but that's even if you see that, that's gonna be pheno. So if your girl did 70, if you believe your girl did 70 on pheno, then you need to know that the male did 70 on geno, right? Like, go ahead, Dan.
With that being said, that's why you run a bull to a
Go
bull.
ball. Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say something too.
Least of your worries. Least of
I
your
was gonna
worries. You
say,
run.
if you want a female that also complements the male. Like if you got a
Absolutely.
female and she look pretty damn close to the male that you're taking her to, then whatever, like it doesn't matter what percentage anybody says, that's not gonna matter because at the bare minimum they're gonna look like her, and hell, she damn near looks like him. So when you get to
Yeah.
that point to where
Killer type.
when you get to that point where you got a female that looks just good as male, the percentage really doesn't matter if it's a 50-50 or not, because at that point it doesn't matter if it looks like the mama or the daddy, you're fine with it. The
Win-win.
percentage really the
Yeah,
percentage people speak on this percentage. Anytime anybody says anything about a percentage, you're also going to get an inconsistent litter, right? When they're not really speaking on percentage because like, oh man, I got a she-male, and oh man, that's an extreme male, then yeah, it's gonna be hard to tell if the pups look like the mom or the dad because they're so close in stature. So you're gonna look at the females as a you're gonna look at any of the female pups as a female version of him, because we always look at the females as being smaller than the stud. So you're gonna look at the female version as a female version of him, but
mm,
in all actuality, the mama is like a female version of the male. So of
mm,
course the puppies are gonna be more consistent, but it's not really consistent. It's just more consistent with what you were looking for, either the mom or the dad. Where you
right.
get that huge swing is when you take a standard to a pocket, right? Then that's when that 70 and 30 and all of that stuff kick in. Because they're
See,
not gonna all look
people
like the
repeat
dad. They're not
this.
gonna all look like the mom or whatever the case may be.
People
Tell
repeat
me,
But the
this. Like this is just not true, man. In fact, he said 70-40. That's
that
110%.
yeah, that don't
Uh,
even
and he said, unless the female has I think he's trolling right now. That gotta be.
70-40, he gotta be trolling.
Yeah,
70
yeah.
40.
And he said unless it got
I
bulldogs
hope
with
he
it,
trolling. I hope he
he might
motherfucking
be.
trolling, man.
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
comment y'all talking about?
To a male. Oh, you couldn't see it. He said, I ain't going back to it, man. He said it was 70-40. That's a long number. That's 110%. So we don't. I don't know if he's trolling right now. Nah, he been serious all
What's
day.
his next one?
I hope he don't start trolling, man. I agree with him. That's why I would go to a male heavily bred if my female is very dominant. Yeah.
Too much game.
Consider last pick could produce right. See, that's when you start getting into what genotype is. Is your female dog producing her pheno, or is she passing through her geno? Because you can have an ugly dog that produces
Sweet.
the pheno, but man, that's a lot of experimentation like that. That's type of stuff that back in the days you kept 2 males or 2 females and you ran that to the same male or female to see which one produced better with each other. So you keep 2 males, you run both of the males to the same girl. You keep 2 girls, you run both of them girls to the same male. And that's how you can judge what genotype your litter is
All right.
putting out.
Yeah, we doing too much now.
I mean, that's something that I would do, but Dame like
I
those
know what Dame
shortcuts.
on. I know what Dame on right now.
Dame like those hot and ready pieces. He wanted now. He ain't trying to wait.
Nah, he's not talking about doing that. It's too much.
We talking too much now in here, damn it.
About that's what
He
he's
said-
talking about.
He said spam and rice. Spam and rice.
He said, "What's a good food?" Everybody's starting to troll. You won't know the true producer is until numbers are multiplied. What you mean by that, Ruel? What you mean by that, Ru?
You won't know till you see all the litters.
Absolutely.
Well, all right. So if that's being said, what would you consider good? Like if your dog is dropping 10%, is that good? If your dog is dropping 20% heat, is that good? What's a percentage number that you would like to see being productions?
I want to see all hitters. If you asking what I want to see, but I mean,
Impossible.
I think it all depends. That's
I
a
think
hard
a
one.
lot. I think a lot of people get mixed up with the term stud and producers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Studs and producers. Okay.
Yeah, because a stud might have 2 litters. A stud might have 2 litters of puppies, 12 weeks, and puppies looking nice. That don't mean you're a producer. Wait till them puppies hit 12 months, 11 months. Then you're gonna see, okay, is that really a producer? Is he looking like his father?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to give it time.
A producer is gonna be something that's gonna throw out something consistently. He's consistently throwing out his look.
Exactly.
A producer. Can I put some names out there on these dogs?
Yeah,
Yes,
what
it's
you want?
Okay,
Yeah.
Graham, RP Graham. Graham was a producer. Like you went to this dog to get that look at bare minimum. This
I
right here
agree.
was a dog that not only produced, he outproduced. And when he produced males, you seen. If I had to give her a percentage, you would see 90% of the time where he produced his look at minimum. Which, if you're going to that dog, that's what you were wanting. That is a producer.
Absolutely.
Producer doesn't mean that every single time, 100% of the time, you're going to hit your target. No, it just means that more than half, you're going to hit your target.
But that-
Anybody that's breeding a dog got a stud because I mean, you selling semen or you
more
pushing
than half
semen.
is, like, unreal. Even more than
Exactly.
half is amazing.
I think a lot of people think just the name is gonna get them there or just the dog. When reality, you need to build that foundation for your dog to be able to produce to these studs that you're going to. Once you start spending money in large amounts of money.
All right, yo, Scott,
Yo,
I'm moving on. Hey, Scott,
yo,
can a last pick male outproduce a first pick male?
I agree. Yes, I agree.
You think so?
I think it can. I think it can. When you mean last pick, what we talking about? Pick at 8
Like
weeks?
if we say I got these dogs and this my keeper and this is a dog
Yes.
yeah.
I believe that. Yes, exactly. Yes. It don't matter. A pick is a pick. A last pick could become a 12. It could become a first pick at 12 months. You know,
Yep.
a pick is a pick at that point in this dog's life. But that don't mean he's gonna produce, or that means he's not gonna look better than his first pick, his litter mates. You know, those that shit could change. Just give it time. You know what I'm saying? Give it time. But yeah, I believe that a last pick could outproduce first pick.
Sometimes the
My bad, Dame. Go ahead.
genotype take over.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
That's why people do buy lower pick dogs just to have that blood on their
Right.
yard.
All right,
Exactly.
Dame. All right, Dame.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You're getting up too much. Hey,
You
Shelton,
can buy a good one. Hold on. You can buy a good one at exclusive gorillas, man. Tap in with me. Anyway, go ahead.
damn,
It
shameless
was a
plug.
comment in.
Shameless plug. Hey, Shelton, what you think about that there, Shelton? You know, about how you pick and what if it can produce based on the pick order.
So me and Damien then had this conversation before. Your first pick is not going to be somebody else's first pick, so
Mhm.
it doesn't matter in the order that you sell these dogs. We human, so we could we got the ability to pick wrong sometimes. Like if you've been doing this for a long time, let's just say 20 years in the game, you got an eye for what you're looking for. But then you also got those times where these like a dog that you sold just happens to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if that ain't your first pick, it's obviously the last, right? So that dog can end up being a dog that's a way better producer than your dog.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really just base it off of, you know, is this pick gonna be better than this pick? It's based off of what you look at and what somebody else look at.
I think
There's
I
been plenty of times where people done sold a pick that they wish they would have kept later, but it's like it wasn't your pick at that time that you chose.
mhm.
So yeah, it got the ability to to outproduce the first pick because I mean hell, it came from the same litter.
And he's carrying the same genome. They,
Yep.
I rather take my chances on what you're saying with the female. Like a lot of people say, man, it's a female. It don't matter. They're carrying the same blood. How I breed them, the geno, da 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 da. But the phenotype is always going to be different with the breed that we have in our inconsistency. But I would rather try my hand with a not first pick female.
And I feel like that kind of depends on too where somebody yard is, because somebody might say, "Hey, let me just use that male because I got a crazy female. I know he gonna hit with her. I know what she is, and she gonna produce with that geno." He might just keep it just to further that blood and never breed him again.
With a female, right?
I'm
What are we
not
talking?
saying. I'm saying my preference is a female that wouldn't fit the phenotype, but I'm just saying even you still could use a male, because what if you get one male out the litter or two males out the litter? You're gonna have to use one of them motherfuckers if you're trying to keep going. You know what I mean? Like,
So Ruel, so if top pick in the
How you doing,
last,
Sarge?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay, the top pick and last pick both had 100 puppies. Then you can compare. Then we talk about percentages game. So what if top pick had 100 and top pick got 10 nice dogs? That's 10%. What if bottom pick had 10 dogs and got 2 nice dogs? That's 20%. Are we saying bottom pick is better? Are we going to go by percentages, or we really want to see a big body of work? Or can we say, man, I seen one litter and
man, we going off them 100 puppies.
we're going off 100 puppies? I feel like when you got 100 puppies like that, you had a better opportunity to show. And then the more you breed, the more people started bringing you better bitches to work with. And then
Hmm.
like the numbers get skewed. Let's take a dog. Let's just take a popular dog. Bro, niggas is probably bringing them their best bitches. The
Yeah.
best bitches that they can breed through. They ain't doing no work at all. Like they that's what you said. That's when you bring a bull to a bull. Can we really judge and say, God damn, that dog can produce? Because then you're gonna be the type of person that said, nigga, my female fucking put it down. What are you talking about?
But
So what's the number? What's the number that we looking for to where before we can label a dog as a producer? Are we looking at per puppies or are we looking at per litters? Because how I will look at it is like in order for a dog to be a producer, he got to have this many consistent dogs out of this litter per litters, right? So to just give you a number, right? Say for instance, if this dog done did 10 breedings, right? This is this dog's first 10 breedings. This is how you're gonna figure out if you got a early producer. You done got these first 10 breedings from this dog, and per breeding, if the average litter is 6 pups, he's doing at least at a bare minimum 3 pups or more per breeding to where he's stamping them. Would you consider that a producer, or are you looking at a higher number of puppies? Because I'm looking at it like
Man, that's
you want to. The more dogs you produce, if you have a litter of 12, right, and you're going to a producer, or you're considering that you're going to a producer, you want to be looking for out of 12 puppies at a bare minimum 6 of these dogs hit. 7 of these dogs hit, and sometimes, and I don't even want to put it up that high. Let's just say 5, right? Because we are talking about a breed that is not always consistent. If you got 5 out of 12 that hit, would you consider that a producer? If he's been putting up high numbers like that per breeding, like it ain't just like 1 or 2 that pop out, because that's what people are generally looking for. I mean, if I can get 1 or 2 that look like him, but this dog is popping out 3, 4, 5, 6, or out of a litter of 10, there were 7 of them that he stamped. You know,
Where
are we
we
looking at numbers, or are we looking at per litter
where we at
of
right
the
now,
number?
breed, I'm saying 5 out of that is really good.
I would think so too. So I mean, that's what you would look at as a producer. It ain't about how many. I mean, you can have a dog that done bred that they got 100 litters out there, right? And out of 100 litters, he may only have probably like 20 20 dogs that you be like, oh yeah, I use. Well, if a litter is giving you a bare minimum of 3 or even 4, you know what I'm saying? That's a low number because you did 100. So he didn't even, out of 100 times you bred him, a lot of the times he didn't even produce himself not once. You get what I'm saying? So is that dog a producer because he got a high number of lock-ins and breedings, or is he a producer because he done cloned himself a higher number of times? Because in order for this dog to be a producer, he got to at least produce his look. That's what's giving him the title.
But still,
So are we going per amount of lock-ins, or are we going per productions? Because
No, you gotta go by what the paperwork says at ABKC. If ABKC says that he got 600 dogs on the ground, then that's what we gotta go on.
it could be 600 dogs worth of trash. There could be 600 dogs worth
No,
of
that's what I'm saying.
trash.
Judge them 600. If he got 600 trash, then he's not a producer.
That doesn't
Okay,
just
so
just because you got a high number doesn't mean that you are a producer. That just means that you got some good
Bro,
promotion going
let's
behind you.
Bro,
let's
so I'm not saying that. When you saying are we going to compare the litter count versus something else, I'm saying no. We got to go with his entire body of work.
Yeah. So if you're looking at a litter of like or a 600 pups, right? How many of those pups did he stamp? How many of those pups became relevant? How many of those pups did he pass his genetic makeup, look, and traits to?
How many?
what them
so
females,
so
what them
Go
females
ahead.
look like though.
So okay, so let me say this. 600. Okay, let's just say 600 flat. Right, you got a stud has 600 pups on the ground, what is the ratio that he needs to be considered as a producer?
Exactly, Ruel. Exactly.
At least
That's the
10%.
question.
At
At least
least
10%.
at least 10%. At
So
least
what? So if it's 50%, they are producers.
you ain't gonna see that.
I'm just saying. All right,
If,
let's say it on.
if they're
Let's
50%,
say.
they're a German Shepherd.
All right, let me give you another example. Then say my dog has had 5 litters, right? And I'm gonna
Hmm.
just we gonna make it easy math. We're gonna say my dog had 10 litters. It was 10 puppies each litter, right?
Hmm.
He had 100.
Five of them litters were my litters, so this shit was planned. The other 5, he hit on a couple of them. Is he a producer?
What's the total number? What are we talking about? We still
Is
talking
he?
about 100. How many out of that 100?
I'm saying at least 50%.
Yo,
Yeah,
so
he's
you
a producer.
So out of 150 of the puppies, he stamped.
so we're not
Hmm.
gonna hold females accountable, right? We're just gonna leave it for the males.
Yeah,
You
because
know, we,
a male can't do that. Not
Exactly.
out of 100 puppies, 50% of the time it's not even realistic. You can't even really think of those numbers without lying to yourself.
What
Like
if you
I would
setting the
say,
play up though?
at, even if you set the play up, because
hey, let
we're
me
going back,
hold on,
we're
hold on.
going back to a dog.
I got a bigger question. We can get to this. I just want to tie this into this production thing. Bro, what are we considering a well-produced dog? Let's say, for instance, Dame, you're male. I'm gonna use your male, Hot Boy, right? You got
Hmm.
Hot Boy. Hot Boy
Pull the
is
pet up. Pull the pet up. No, I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
I'll do it on Friday. You want me to do it on Friday? Give me permission to
We
pull
can
up on
do it on
Friday.
Friday,
All
man.
right, cool. This recorded. You got Hot Boy. Hot Boy produces another boy. Are we
Too
judging?
hot.
Are we judging Hot Boy on how well he produced another boy, or can we judge Hot Boy on how well he can produce dogs that can produce? Because like it made me think of this. This guy said there was Wapow. He had a litter that had so many grand champs in the litter. Yeah, that was a great production, but how many of those dogs continue to produce?
Produce.
Like, if it stops right there, is it a production for Hot Boy? Can you say, well, shit, Hot Boy threw his look, but Hot Boy's son couldn't keep the line going?
That
Like,
goes. You can't put that on that male at that point, right?
so
Because
you,
then because his offspring, the people that own them, you gotta look at how they're breeding, right? They're not gonna breed the same way that you breed. They're not gonna look at stuff the same way that you'll look at it. So, like, say for instance, if you got a stud like White House, and then you got an offspring off of him, and he doesn't produce in the way that his dad does, uh, what did you take him to? You know what I'm saying? Like, what
so
did
let
you
me ask
take him
you this.
to?
Let me ask you this. If you know there's a stud that is producing his look 100% of the time, but his sons are producing their look 0% of the time, are you using the stud?
No.
So it got to be more than just producing the look.
Every box got to be checked when it boils down to it.
Shit get complicated, man.
I
Welcome
feel
to the
like
bully world.
just because somebody else used the dog and their dog's not producing, that ain't got nothing to do with you and your dog.
No, it don't.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
don't.
So I can't say that I ain't gonna use that producer if he's a known producer just because he produced a dog that did produce.
Hey Dame, let
Um,
me ask let me raise a question. Um how many litters do a dog gotta have until you consider him not a producer?
That's a good question.
What kind of question is that?
Shit. You know. Hey, you want me to tell you how you know? This them, hey, that be them dogs. You be like, where the offsprings at? You seen them as a puppy? You gonna see them motherfuckers up more. Do y'all want me to drop a name?
Nah,
Boy, them eyebrows. Nah, okay.
You ain't that tough.
good.
Go ahead. You know how I am. Go ahead, drop their name.
So if you do that in-house breeding, right, and you do that and you take him to your baddest bitch in-house, and that whole litter flop, bro, you might not never give him another chance to redeem himself ever.
Nah. He pet Homan.
So how many?
But he
so how
might
many?
work with a different blood.
Not mine.
But how many? So how many litters does it
Not
take for him to flop? I would say 2.
You talking about Dame, right? Because I don't know if I can
No,
answer.
I'm just a hypothetical question.
All right, say
How
that
many?
again.
How many litters do a male have to do before you look at him and be like, yeah,
Man.
he ain't producing?
All right, so you got about 3
I say
litters for me
I
to
say
keep my
2.
attention. You got about 3 to keep my attention. I'm not saying on my yard. I'm talking about on Facebook. I better be able to get on Facebook and see something.
Listen. That first one should be a cause of alarm, right? The first one should be a cause of alarm. But if your car get to shaking the first time you jump in it, you don't just be like, okay, I'm about to go get a new car. You go check it out. So what do you do by checking it out with this another male? You breed him again, probably to something different. And then if he flopped in, then it's like, okay, if you know what you're doing, if we got that at least out the way, and we took your error out the scenario, and it's just, okay, now this is just this stud, and the second time you bred him and nothing, yeah, it's time for him to go. Because if you do it a third time, not saying that you will, but if you're doing it a third time, you really just wasted your investment. Because like, how many times do you got to get slapped in the face and be like, okay, I'm being disrespected? No, the second time it's like, yeah, you got to go. You're not doing what I need you to do, and I don't want to put any more money into you.
Hey Elijah, man, no, I'm not saying that those 3 were not producers. I haven't seen enough from any of them. I think Shots Fired might have the most litters out of that, and he does well. He put dogs in the show ring for that category of what he is. He can continue to throw that look. No, I don't know those dogs, but it just brought me to a point like saying Waffle House did really great. So the next judge would be, how great did those kids do? So no, I don't know how they produce other than Waffle House. I can't tell you, but I mean, I'm sorry, Shots Fired. I can't tell you about the rest. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I just want to address that because this is how rumors get out. I don't want nobody to say that I said them dogs cannot produce. Get out, Cross. The only way you know is breed him in your yard to dogs you know. So yeah, so you ain't got to do it a lot of times if you breed him to your best bitch. So Damien, you say your female dog is a producer. Scott, your female is a producer. Juan, your female is a producer. You get this male, your girl ain't never missed with nobody. And you finally breed to this dog and everything missed. Not one. You still gonna load her up again. You gonna say maybe that just wasn't the right
No,
connection.
man. If you know that your female stamp stuff and you just took her to this male and everything was a dud, like, yeah, you done with that. Like, don't do that breeding again. That might not be the blood that you need to mix. Not saying like if this for you to use this, yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All I gotta say is, if you keep your first picks, you better keep that motherfucker.
Which dog?
The litter that didn't hit, because we don't sell first picks. We do breeders for a reason. They better keep that first pick for that blood.
See, that's when you don't
and move on to another stud.
When you don't keep the first pick, that means the whole litter did not work out.
That's not true. Somebody came with that bag that you couldn't refuse. But I understand what Damien's saying, right? So if you got a litter like that where the litter was trash Do you scrap the whole litter? Or do you keep one? Me, keep one. Which one do you keep? The female,
The
the freaking
female.
female.
Put that.
Because if the whole litter is trash, a male at at
We got
I mean, the most that the male can do is what he is, right? The female can do something, but he is not going to outproduce himself. And if he did outproduce himself, if they trash, even him outproducing himself, that pup is not going to be much. But with a female, you could take that female to anything. And the only thing you need that female to do is to give you one of what she took her to. Because the goal to being a breeder for the most part is that you want to show your work in your pedigree. It ain't okay. I did this dog and I did this breed and I got my fundings. Your portfolio is what you done did through the duration of being a breeder, right? Your pedigrees gotta match your work. So whenever you're doing that type of breeding and a breeding come out to be trash, you keep that female. You take that female to something more well known or whatever else that you're trying to incorporate to your program, and then you keep that. So you always at any time you always want to keep the best, even if it's the worst. Keep the best of the worst. Because like Damien said, we doing this for a reason, right? So you want to build off of that. But just to scrap the whole thing, like, what you do it for?
I mean, we all at different levels, you know. We,
Yeah,
Throw the
man.
whole little away, man. Throw the whole little away, man. God, man.
Yeah. You allowed over here, be well, man. Just know that this ain't that over there. Let's keep it real respectful, man. Living room in here. What up with the living room, man? How you doing?
yo,
But your first pick might not be the same first pick as someone else, especially if it's blood you know about, you know what you're looking for. Sometimes you can sell first pick female or male and still end up with second pick because they're going for their look and you know exactly what you want. That was a whole lot. I don't even know if I digested that because I was trying to read it and understand it at the same time.
He's saying we all looking for different traits.
Yeah, we touched on that conversation earlier.
Yeah, right. Like your last pick, whatever. My pick ain't your pick.
Shit, I might want the tallest dog out the litter. You might want the shortest one.
Yep.
Never know. I might.
I don't think that's the right verbiage, Ruel. Throw them away. I don't think that's the right verbiage. You like, when do we find their forever homes for them and pet home them?
Start with a female, Brandon. He said, should I start with a male or a female?
Female. Because if you get a male, you're going to have a hard time finding or convincing somebody to breed to your male unless if you just done actually put the work in on your male yourself. If you're new to this and you just getting started, the best thing you could do is get a female because you can always save up your coins and go to whatever male you choose. But you're going to have a hard time using your male and expecting to take it to somebody else's male. I haven't seen it. So, I mean, we all got stories to where we done showed a picture of our female and somebody inboxes, hey, you want to breed this? No, like if I want to breed, I'm a contact somebody, but you don't got to contact me. So when you got a female, you can actually be picky. So go with a female first. Unless if you just know for a fact you got something with that male, which is kind of really hard to say. So if you want to be sure, go with a female.
Let me tell you this. I agree with that, right? That's the best route to take when you come in. But with experience, I would say do something that I didn't know existed. Come in the game and just pay for somebody breeding and then get a puppy. Don't even buy your puppy to wait for it to grow up. If you got a couple dollars, if you got $4,000 or $5,000 to spend on a female, reach directly out to somebody with a bad bitch and say, I got $5,000 to breed to this stud for fucking first pick female.
Hey, you know what? It's funny that you brought that up because me and Damien was talking about this maybe about a year ago, where it's going to get to a point to where people are going to start selling their dogs' heats. It's gonna
Ain't that
it's gonna
already happening?
yeah, but it's like you pay for that dog's entire heat. So whenever it's like say for instance, if I own a female, right, and you really like my female, and you would have loved if you owned my female, you would have took it to this male, right? So you'd be like, hey man, I want to buy that heat off of you, and you'd be like, okay, what's the price? So you give your price. So whenever you pay for that dog, you it's up to you to whelp that dog and all of that. You get the litter, uh, but you pay for that whole litter, right? Because you pay for the heat.
Hey, so that's a good question. With that being said, if puppy's selling for the price that they selling, how much will we sell a heat for? How much do you think a value is? Hey, let me use your dog.
You
Hey,
rent,
Ray,
I mean,
let me use Honey Drop for this breed.
out? We renting bitches out now?
Hey, let me
I
use Honey
I
Drop for
feel
this
like
breed, and I think she gonna go
I
crazy with this golden child credit I got.
I feel like think about it like this, right? We all get to that point to where sometimes where we'll miss a heat, right? Uh, but just because you're not willing to breed that dog, somebody else may see. People are always putting test mating together with these dogs. I do it all the time before I do a breeding. I want to see how it's going to look before I actually do it, at least visually.
That's the
So
question right there.
other
Y'all
other
want to
other
answer that?
people other people do that. Other people do that with other people's dogs unknowingly all the time, right? You just curious to see, right? So then what happens when somebody be like, "Hey man, I'll give you 80K for her next heat," and this may be a heat that you weren't even planning on bringing her. Are you gonna pass up on money that you wasn't even expecting, or you gonna get that 80K? I mean, that's a question for anybody out there.
80K.
I mean, and we ain't even just really saying 80K like that's going to be a number for anybody selling a heat. I'm just throwing a number out there, right? I mean, because
Yeah.
in order for you to do that, it's gotta we talking some crazy stuff, right?
I got one for
Selling your
80K.
dog's heat,
Yeah.
selling
Bro,
your
you
dog's
gotta
heat.
have it. Bro,
So
you
if you're gonna sell your dog's heat, you're gonna put in hell. We could say 30K if you don't if you just really not interested in. You just want to put your dog's heat out there.
bro, you
You
gotta
know,
buy
is
it. You gotta buy her. You gotta buy her at that point. The fuck?
no man. I mean, say this is just a time or a point that you just didn't want to breed this dog. So her heat is
He got kicked out on that bullshit. That's what happened.
He fell out.
Yeah. He was talking too crazy. He talking about some. He back in here too. I ain't gonna bring him in yet until I finish my point. Look, yo, we are not renting out fucking dog heats, man. Sell your motherfucking bitch if you renting out heat. And then you gotta whelp the litters for these niggas too. And then you
No,
talk about
they take the dog and whelp it themselves.
no, because then what if he lose your dog? You kill your dog. He don't know how to whelp.
Right.
He lose his whole litter. You don't care about that, but he lose your dog. And then we talking about what are we doing here, man? We talking about heats like they breedings like they unlimited or something. Like nigga, if I breed my bitch 3 times and I'm done with her, nigga, you can buy her when I'm done. But you're not cutting the line.
but what if you just not interested in selling your female? You just don't got time for this breeding right now, right? You got other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? You just got a promotion. Y'all just have to move in the process. Whatever the case may be, man. Somebody want to buy your dog's litter. You ain't even planning on breeding. She ain't for sale. They just want to breed the dog
Hey,
to whoever they want to
let me
breed it
give you
to.
20
What's
bins, man.
wrong
I
with
just need
that?
to use something, man. 20. Let me just
Wait a
use
minute,
it.
let me hit you. Let me hit you
I'll
with
bring
this.
it back in
Let
6
me hit you with
months.
this. Hey, bro, man. Let me give you 30K, bro. I want to take your dog. I want to take the dog to this dog. I just want half of the litter. Now you weren't even planning on breeding this dog, but they paid for everything, right? They bought your dog's litter. I mean, people do it. They just not calling it that.
If you
When
pay
you
for
do it,
everything
when
that
you
can
do a
get
collab with somebody, yeah, you just bought that dog's heat.
if you do that, you can, you know what I mean? It might get you 2 dogs. 1.
He said, they still can't
Man,
get the whole litter, huh?
hey, if you can see my
He
face
just-
right now, shit.
That's how
Because they already know how I even go about business. So if I'm paying half, I won't have. But I understand if the female is yours, then we can negotiate
I
on
do
that. Of course,
10K.
you're gonna have slightly more, but hey, 2 puppies, and I don't know.
What you considering half, bro? You gonna go half on the breeding, or you going wholes? You going whole on everything?
Dang, boy.
Now we talking about buying the litter. If I'm buying the litter,
Yeah,
I'm paying for
That's
everything.
steep. That's
yeah.
steep. What Cordell said. You see that?
Let me go to it.
I do that for 10K, and the person that only gets second pick, my dog is never leaving home.
You feel me?
So
I mean,
what you
by that
saying
time,
is, they get the whole litter. You keeping the whole litter.
no, they get
Second pick.
second pick. That's it. You getting to choose your stud, so that's what you paying for, and I'll take care of the litter, and you getting second pick overall.
Yeah, bro, you crazy.
Bro, you
Ain't no way.
crazy, cuz you are not, bro.
It happens every day.
It depends on who most people.
But you know what? Somebody gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that we think is the most outlandish stuff possible. Somebody's willing to do it. So
No, this ain't paid talk. This panel talk. Paid talk on Friday nights, man. Tap in.
Tap in. What time? What time is pet talk?
Yeah,
To be determined.
Depends on how I feel.
pop-up shows on Fridays only. You know what I'm saying?
Pop-up show and the pop-up thing.
So back to the topic. Since we got some more people in here,
Exactly, Debo. It's gonna be an issue.
what? I'm trying to see the date. What's the
Oh,
topic
don't worry
again?
about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This that splat.
What's your thoughts on pricing? Hey man, come to Death Row. Let's do some
covered
gorillas,
that.
man.
So
We
we know
covered
the
that already.
contract. So we know the contract already crazy.
Man, we all win over here, man. Get you a Snoop deal. So what's your thoughts on pricing? What about the studs? Do we feel like these stud fees going too high? Too fast?
man, look, when you put a price on these stud fees, like I don't agree with a lot of these stud fees. But if somebody willing to pay for it, if you put your price out there, then you know just because one person don't value your dog in that way, don't mean somebody else won't, right?
Exactly.
And for that reason, you know, people gonna up their price. This is what they feel like their dog should be at. You know, who are you to say that their dog is not that? Considering that somebody gonna lock their dog in and pay
I
it.
got reasons to say it. I got reasons to say it for sure. Because if you ain't putting no litter on the ground, then we really got to be talking about why your intro price is now different from your next week price when nothing changed for your dog between the time.
Cause
So
I took it to the show.
Right. That's the answer. That is the answer though. So yeah. When that happened, but let the people gonna do what they want to do, right? That's the answer. It ain't your dog. It ain't your dog. But it's a double-sided coin, bro. You can price your stuff out of the market because every time you go up, you changing your competition. So when you get to a price, rest in peace to Grim. So when you get to a price that you matching Grim, shit, who am I gonna use? Probably not you.
Yeah.
If I gotta spend one price, I'm going to what I know gonna work.
It's
Yep.
it's definitely levels to it because ain't nobody coming to take their best female to your stud you just opened for 3,500.
Oh, look at this guy. Oh man, some people just don't like education.
Let me raise this question for y'all then. How many lock-ins should you accept before you put a litter down?
So you asked if it should be a cap. If we should have a cap on the amount of lock-ins before a litter touches the
Yes.
ground.
Yeah.
me, I mean, I think that's just personal preference, man. I mean, could you sustain the amount of lock-ins?
Could you what?
I think whenever you got a up and coming stud that you bringing out, uh, I think that you shouldn't, depending on where you opening him up at. I think you shouldn't do too many lock-ins because before this dog can even produce, like let's just say that you got 30 lock-ins on this dog, right? This dog is not even old enough to do his first breeding. Um,
Hmm.
so therefore, if you can't get nothing pulled off of him. And these dogs come in here at different times. So if people is locking in this dog, they're gonna want to use this dog when it comes time. And if you just got a dog that you just opened up, you can't pull him that many times to get these breedings done. So how many lock-ins should you have on this dog to feel comfortable that you can actually deliver these breedings, make sure these breedings is be done successfully, and then also it's also at a point to where you're not pulling your dog so much to where you putting his life in jeopardy.
Hold
Because
on.
a lot of the best dogs that's been in the bully game done died because of over pulling.
Hey,
So
somebody
So,
said,
how many breedings do you
what?
do?
hey,
How many breedings do you accept before you put a cap on it if it's a
who,
male that haven't even been
who,
bred yet?
who am I to say you can't lock my dog in, man? You might need something. You might already see it in the program. You might
Well,
be like, hey, man,
But how
he
many are
got them
you
shoulders.
accepting?
I need
How
that.
many
I'm,
how many are you accepting before he got a litter down?
I got you. Law enforcement, just follow them. Okay.
we going to the top. You know what I'm saying? We got to get that ratio right.
let me say this. With this whole lock-in stuff and not being able to deliver the semen, I think I got a good idea for how this can work. When you get the fucking lock-in money, why don't you
Freeze.
use it to
Freeze.
freeze the fucking semen that the people paid for?
I
Next.
mean, that's professional. I mean, that's a good way of doing business on your behalf.
But
Well,
you got
Ray,
these
I,
but you got
I don't
these
want no
people that's
frozen.
accepting you got people that's locking in these dogs before they even able to be pulled, right?
That's a hundred
Um,
percent. Yes.
you
Yep.
get like
Yeah.
we're not gonna put no names out there, but there's a dog out there with quite a bit of lock-ins right now, and he don't got nowhere near amount of pulls. He don't got even half of the pulls that he need to even produce those lock-ins. So where does the cap need to be?
That's true. So so now you're basically
A
talking about
hundred.
early
A
lock.
hundred is the cap. This is the
Yeah,
cap. 100.
you got early lock-ins, right? If you got a dog that's an up and comer and he hasn't even produced yet, like where is the cap on the lock-ins? Because now you're locking in a dog that's not only does he not have a litter on the ground, he's not even old enough to be pulled. Where there needs to be a cap. Where is the cap? Where should the cap be?
I
We
mean, I
don't
mean,
condone
everybody
it.
going, if
We don't
everybody gonna do
condone.
business differently though. Everybody gonna run their business differently. At that point, that's how he decided to run his business. Me, on the other hand, I mean, I wouldn't open my dog if he's a pup. I'm not taking no lock-ins as a 6 month dog. That's just me. Everybody does stuff differently.
I'm taking them
What you?
at 6 months. Lock-ins, man. Y'all better look out for Hot Boy. But go ahead.
Hold on, I didn't hear you
Nah,
say
but
that.
for real, nah, but for real. All right, hot boy, right? He's 6 months. How much lock-ins you gonna take him?
I'm gonna take. Uh, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna let him go on the run, and if you believe in him, you're gonna have to believe in him early on. It ain't gonna just be like, oh, I'm gonna flood it till he get to a certain amount of age. I might get 20 lock-ins. I may get 30 lock-ins.
All right, well that's reasonable. But they got people out here. I mean, they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
I mean, that's respectable. 20 lock-ins. Yeah, I could see that. I mean,
But would you go higher than that? Why and why
Every,
not?
everybody
Before
on here, have y'all ever
Well,
bred every dog that you locked in?
Say that again.
No, I don't pass a lot of them up. It's like
Mm-mm.
if it doesn't fit your program, I mean, especially if you locking in a dog early, or you might have a female that might not quite be ready, but you lock in a stud, and then your direction changes, right? Your view, your vision of what you want to
Absolutely.
do. It happens all the time. I can't tell you how many, and I done locked in some nice dogs. And it's like, I just chunk up that $500 that I used to lock the dog in because this dog is no longer fitting my vision, or my vision then changed dramatically.
Exactly.
A lot can happen in 6 months to a year. Like, it is crazy. Like, you lock in a dog, and the dog will not be what you're looking for the next following year.
That's why
Yeah.
I don't like when people say, "Hey, we had to take the price up because we was getting X amount of lock-ins." Well, just because you got 100% of lock-ins doesn't mean you're gonna have 100% of utilization, bro. You
Yeah,
might you might
that's
have a
true.
10%, you might have a 10% conversion rate. So you probably
Mm-hmm.
need to take another 1,000 lock-ins before you take the price up. If you have not created the supply and demand on a dog that has not been open, so you don't
So
know the
30,
rate. Go ahead.
30, 30 lock-ins, right? On a realistic map, 30 lock-ins,
How old is the dog?
probably um let's just say this dog is 8 months old, right? And you got
Three
30
months,
lock-ins.
8 months.
Out of 30 lock-ins, you're gonna probably have about 12, 13 people that actually do that breeding.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Everybody's not gonna come through because you're gonna one of those people that were they mind just change or they go in a different direction. I would probably be one of those people. Like, your vision change. Like, if you're really studying these dogs, like, your vision change. Like, every year there's a new stud.
Absolutely.
Every year.
Yeah.
And then and then this stud might have the pedigree that you was
That you're
probably just
looking for.
trying to put
Yeah.
together.
Exactly. Yep.
So do you go for the stud that was trying to complete this pedigree, or do you go for the stud that already got the pedigree that you're looking for? So it changes. You'll lock in a dog and then be like, yeah, I'll be wasting money if I complete the breeding just because I already got the dog locked in. You know, to make money, you got to spend money,
Absolutely.
and you lose money in the process of that. So don't breed backwards just because you didn't already spend some money.
So, but they ain't nobody paying this stuff back, Kayla. She said, I'm not taking lock-ins before pulling a dog and having analysis done. But I came off a breed known for having shit semen. If I do, it's an amount I can comfortably pay back 100% in case my stud can't perform. Nobody's paying back. They saying, hey, you can transfer it to the next stud. It may not even be a next stud that's comparable to what they got. You're going to wait 2 years, 3 years to transfer your $500 because this community didn't allow people to say that lock-ins are non-deposit when the community as a whole should have been busting up. You know what I'm saying?
So, if I could chime in on that, if you got a stud, right, and you haven't been able to breed him, and you do have a non-deposit on this stud, if that dog dies, that non-invoice, that whole contract of you saying that, hey, this is um
Breeders.
you can't get your money back, right? On this
Non-refundable.
lock-in. Yeah, it's non-refundable. You got a right to get your money back because you can't force somebody to use another male. If they locked in a male and that male is no longer available for whatever the case may be, you got to get them their money back because if you go to court, that's what's going to happen. They pay for a product and you cannot deliver on their product. Now, if they choose to change their mind and go elsewhere, or if you got a deadline, uh, active and they go past that, then yeah. But if this dog dies or you shut this dog down, yeah, they should get their money back for sure. All of it.
I agree. I agree. I definitely agree. But I mean, what does the contract say though?
The contract said that you're going to transfer it to another dog.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Then
before
you got to follow the contract. The contract is law binding.
there you go. There you go.
but with that even being said, like dogs that do have that amount of lock-in at a young age, are they better off to be a successful stud versus the people that's waiting for 9 months or
Now,
10 months?
you got a bigger chance of flopping because now you done set your ceiling so high in your potential, and you're gonna come in the game, and now we really, really got our eyes on you, so we're not even allowing you the chance to
So,
mix.
so I'm gonna
Yeah,
say this. I'm gonna say this though. That goes. You could look at it two different ways because if I have a lot of experience, I mean, I will know how I'm running my stuff. I mean, if you just came in the game, you mightn't even know what your dog needs to produce all that semen or the type of diet that dog needs
hmm
to intake. So I mean, it
yeah,
depends on you as a breeder and your level of
yeah,
experience in the
yeah,
game.
true.
You know what I'm saying? Because
So
I know I have some people, I know I have some breeders I look up to. Like you could just send me the ped and I'm gonna lock in because I know that you've been in the game for a while and I expect you
yeah, I
to
know what
to
to expect.
you know what I'm saying? You know
Business,
what to
the
expect.
business already speaks for itself.
Exactly.
Hmm
And that's a good thing, man. You could have the best dog in the game. Just the way you do business with me is like, damn, I'm a repeat customer. You got me in your pocket. I'm coming back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that goes a long way. Just the person experience.
Hey y'all, man, it's been good chat, man. But I'm gonna wrap it up and give my kids the bad. Man, let me introduce y'all to everybody on here again before we sign off in case y'all want to tap in with somebody. Dang, introduce yourself, your kennel, where they can find you at, man. Your social media.
Exclusive Gorillas, man. You can find me at Exclusive Gorillas on everything. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, exclusivegorillas.com. Tap in with me, Oklahoma.
All right. Shelton Bullies. One.
Y'all know who it is. It's Juan Shelton on Facebook. You can also find us on Facebook underneath our kennel, Shelton's Bully Kennel. You're going to also find it on IG as well underneath the same name. Any breedings that we got coming up, you're going to see them. So if you don't want to ask me and you just that shy person, check out the pages. But don't forget to follow them.
Yes, sir. And Scott.
Yo, Scott White, bless be on bullies, man. We out here in Virginia.
Yes, sir. Where can we find you at, man? Instagram,
Bless
Facebook. What?
Scott White, Facebook, bless be on bullies, Instagram. That's it. It was a pleasure,
Everything
man.
blessed
Nice.
beyond bullies.
Everything blessed beyond bullies. We here.
Hey,
Mhm.
fellas, gentlemen, man, thank y'all for
Appreciate it.
tapping in tonight on the panel. I know it could have been controversial. It might have got a little controversial there. Everybody that tapped in tonight, I appreciate y'all. Man, I am DCB Ray Wilson, Different Cloth Bullies. Man, I'm out of Virginia too. Y'all can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but I'm only on Facebook. So y'all can hit the other ones up and I'll never respond. So just hit me here, man. Facebook for real, man. Y'all take care. Have a good night. As always, be safe.
Night,
Holla.
guys.
All right, bro.